Hi, this is Panzerkill 13. Today's video is going to be on the subject of applying decals. I've been asked by a couple of my Facebook friends on the Facebook modeling pages what system I use, and I will show you in today's video. It is a very simple three-step system. To begin with, I always paint with Tamiya paints. All of my models, every single model, whether it's an airplane, a piece of armor, or a figure that I'm doing, always starts off with Tamiya paints. I'm not trying to push, that brand, but I've been using it since I started modeling. It is water soluble. You can spray inside and not have a lot of odor. Thins out very easily with alcohol. So pretty much I like the ease of use. I like the fact that it dries to the touch immediately. And so therefore I paint with Tamiya paints. And now that being said, I never ever spray gloss clear on anything, whether it's a piece of armor, whether it's a piece of aircraft, to make the decal stick better, because I don't believe in that. And I also believe in cutting down the process, and I believe that spraying glossy clear is just an extra process, more time, and therefore slows your modeling down. And I'm all about, if you already know my videos, I'm about doing it the very most cost-effective and fast way to get the best results. And I've been using this system since I started modeling, and a lot of you like my models. You've seen the videos on my dioramas, you've seen my aircraft, and I've won awards at the IPMS championship level and what have you using this system. So it is a tried and true system, very simple. It's a three-step system. I use a system for the decals to set them called microscale, and the first step you'll see in the video is that I will apply the decal to a specific area where I've applied microset, and it is a blue bottle, and you apply the decal on top of that. You dry out the excess, and then on top of the decal, then you proceed to brush micro sol. And what that does is it dries and removes pretty much the glue and what makes the decal thick, and leaves just the paint, and then pulls the paint right to the model. You leave it sitting overnight, and it does its trick. The decals look like they're painted on. And then we finish the process spraying right out of the spray can Testors Dull Coat 1260. And I show you in the video what the can looks like. You can buy it at Michael's, you can buy it at any hobby shop. Every single model that I build, whether it's a figure, whether it's an aircraft, whether it's a piece of armor, gets this system. Now naturally figures don't get decals, so they'll just get paint and clear. And then we proceed to weathering. This video is on the decal system, so we're going to stick to the decal system. I did build a Hobbycraft LA5FN that you'll see in the video, which I'm going to be weathering in a video later on this week or next week, because I've been asked if the process to do the armor is the same as aircraft, and it's pretty much the same, only that armor gets way more weathered because it touches the ground and what have you. But the system's pretty much the same way with the washes and the pastels to bring out highlights, and you'll see once I do the video on the aircraft. Nevertheless, this is the system I use. Again, I get a lot of feedback that's negative sometimes, and I don't care. You're welcome to it, but you're also welcome to my rebuttal on your feedback. And a lot of people don't like the way I am, don't like me, and I don't do these videos to like my dislikers. I do the videos because a lot of my friends on Facebook ask me to, and I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on my techniques, and a lot of the techniques that I've shown here have helped people, and that's what I'm about. Watch the video, check it out, comment, PM me if you have any questions. I show what products I use, I show how I do it, and the finished product. I hope you enjoy it. Again, happy modeling. Panzerkill out. Okay, today we're going to be showing the application of decals on this model that I'm about to finish here. This is Heller's 1/35 scale Hotchkiss H35 long barrel. I've already built the short barrel for a France diorama I'm working on. French had interesting camouflage, as you can see here. Very interesting patterns. And basically I paint with Tamiya paints. This is out of the bottle here, but this is mixed on my own, and I use this color for different applications. I also use it on my SS soldiers camo and what have you. It's always good to mix a nice big batch so you can use it in different applications because they're almost the same. But nevertheless, every model that I do receives the same treatment. I never ever spray clear, glossy clear, to make the decals adhere, because I believe in cutting down the steps and cutting down the work so that we can produce more models. And my techniques, if you've been watching my videos and if you know me from Facebook, you can see that my modeling techniques work and they produce realistic results. Every single model I do is the same process. I paint with Tamiya paints. As you can see, they're nice and flat, and I never spray gloss because there's a sheen that comes over the vehicles. And I know that there's arguments that go back and forth over the sheen and what have you, and we can go back and forth. People produce pictures with sheen, I produce pictures without sheen, with dull colors, and we're gonna get the know-it-alls trying to argue here. And the thing is that I'm not here to argue with anybody. I'm here to show you my techniques. They're not the best, they're my techniques, and a lot of people are asking me to do this because they want to know how I do it. I like to cut down cost and I like to cut down time. That is what I'm about, and getting the best results we can within that structure. Now, again, every single model I've done, and if you look at my airplanes, if you look at my armor, if you look at my figures, gets the Tamiya paint, and if it has decals, then it gets the decals, and then we finish off always spraying Testors dull coat 1260. Every single model gets this sprayed over the decals once they're set over, or if the vehicle or a figure does not require decals, it just gets cleared with that. I get excellent results. This guy's already done. As you can see, it's been done. It's been sprayed with the Testors dull coat. It's had the decals applied in the same fashion that I'm going to apply these, and it's a very simple process. I like to cut down on time. I like to cut down on costs, and that is why I use this process, and I found this process. I use a system called micro scale, and there's microset and microsalt. And what happens is you take a brush like this, and you don't have to have a fancy brush. Just, I never use this brush for anything other than for these solutions here. I don't put paint on it or thinner or anything, just these solutions, and you can wash them with water, with clean water. I have a little cup that's labeled just for decals. And what you do is you dip your brush in the microset where the decal's going to go. Then you assume that you already dipped the decals in water. You slide the decal off and place it, and I will show you in a little bit exactly what I'm talking about. And then you finish off after you've set it wherever you want with microsol. And what this does is it softens the decal up and makes it pull. It pulls all of the color onto the vehicle, and it gives it a painted on look. I'm going to show you an airplane I did yesterday. I'm working on an LA5FN hobbycraft that I'm about to finish also, and I applied the decals last night. I didn't show you on that video because those decals were horrible. They're print scale decals, and they were falling apart at every angle. I was going to do this video last night with the airplane, but the decals were so horrible that I just decided I'm going to do it with the armored vehicle here. But I'm going to show you the results. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of hard work, but here's the airplane. It's Popakov's LA5FN, and the decals are print scale decals. These are from the kit. This is the Hobbycraft kit, very reworked, as you can see, with a True Details cockpit and the Edward photo edge set inside and what have you. But I like the scheme of Popcop's airplane, and it was these decals really that were a pain in the ass. A lot of the little stars, it's one decal, and it fell apart in a million pieces. The little stars were just moving around everywhere, and I had to hurry up and set them before the micro set, because once it sets, it's hard to move them because it pulls it in. You can see the stars here. It looks like a painted on, like if they're painted on, because it thins them out. It takes out all the glue and it pulls the paint right towards the model. And after I'm done, what'll happen is I still have to do the bottom, and I think I have like one more. Yeah, the star in the back here at the rudder. And what'll happen is I'll clear the whole airplane with Tester's dull coat 1260. I'll mask off right here the canopy because that's already been done. The spinner will come off, and I'll clear coat the entire airplane in Tester's dull coat 1260 and let it dry, and then I'll proceed to the weathering, which I'm going to do a video on weathering, which is the same technique I use for my figures, my armor, my airplanes. I use the same techniques for all of them. Some of them get more weathered than others, the armor vehicles do or what have you, but the techniques, the basic techniques for shading and what have you, is with the pastels and the weathering, and I'm going to show you how it works on the airplanes, as this one will be finished very soon. Again, I did the decals last night. The decals were horrible, but you can see here that the micro scales system already worked and pulling. It looks like they're painted on. I let it dry overnight, and it just pulled really tight. When it you can see the emblem here on the cowling. It looks like it's painted on. It looks paper thin. I mean, like micrometer thin. It just doesn't even look like a decal anymore. And that what happens is the system pulls it hard towards the airplane. Once you clear coat it, it's gonna give you a painted on appearance. And I'll show you on another vehicle the results. Here is the Semovente I'm working on, and I've done this vehicle in the same way. Tamiya paints with Tester's dull coat. This is a decal back here that I applied using the same system, and you can see it does not look like a decal. It looks like it's been painted on. And once you dull coat over it and weather it, it gives you a nice painted on appearance instead of it does not look like a decal. Here's the other side, and you can see the finished process there with the system that I use. And that is how I do every single model. It doesn't matter whether it's an airplane or an armored vehicle. We are going to use this system. Now, again, this guy's done, so we're going to proceed to show you the system on this vehicle here. And I'm going to do the turret first. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see it's a very simple system, very simple process. It's not very hard at all whatsoever. And what you want to do first is you want to cut your decals out and be ready. And you proceed. I've cut them out. We're going to start with the roundels first. And get yourself a set of flat tweezers so that they don't damage the decal. And what we're going to do here is we're going to dip our decals in the water. Like so. Let them rest here on a sheet of paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut the next set of decals. And remember, there is no right or wrong here. There is no right or wrong step. It's a very simple, straightforward step that everybody can do. And it's very easy, and you're going to get great results. And again, we're going to get the arguers, you know, they know it better and they've done it more and what have you. I'm here doing these videos to help the beginners and the people that ask me to do these, my Facebook modeling friends and what have you, because I've been asked by them to do it and to show my techniques. And again, mine are not the best, mine aren't the only way, but they're my way, and I've cut down on a lot of the time and I cut down on a lot of the expense, and that's what I like about my techniques. Now we're gonna dip these again in here, let it soak really nice. And then we let it rest there. And again, there is no right or wrong. If you notice, the markings are different size and they're different, and you know, some manufacturers give you a certain size and other manufacturers give you another size. They all have different references. There are hardly no French aftermarket decals. I've been looking everywhere so that I can match them up evenly, so I'm working with the best that I've got. There is no real picture reference to see if the long barrel had different markings or what have you. I've talked to a friend in France who's deep into this, and he says that they do not have anybody that produces the decals, so we're gonna go with what we've got. And you know, the rivet counters can take a hike. I could care less. Again, a lot of people don't like me. A lot of people think that I'm arrogant. I don't care. This is my way. I'm showing my friends so that they can produce good results and quick and cheap, and that's what we're doing here. Now, we check to see if the decals okay. The decals are loose. Excellent. Once in a while, grab some water and put it so that they don't dry up on you. And then now what we're going to do is the first step, which is the micro set. You can get this at any hobby shop or at Squadron. They run about $3, $3.50 each. Not really expensive, and they give you great results. And what we're going to do here is we're going to place the roundel here, and what we do is we dip into the microsol and we put sparingly. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Put it on sparingly. I mean, douse it. Don't rub it too much. Just douse it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to proceed to grab one of our decals with our flat tweezers, because that way you don't damage them. And now we will put it right on. Don't panic, it's not going to dry right away, but you do need to move a little fast. And what we're going to do here is place it at about the height of the viewport there. It doesn't matter if it hangs out. Okay, can everybody see that? There's a lot of that microsol. Take some more microsol, dab it on the decal. Wash out your brush every once in a while in case you have to put water on your decals. Don't put microsol on your decals. That way they don't stick to the thing there. And then what you want to do, what you want to do is you want to suck up the excess, and see how it's already curving there? It's already pulling on it. Sometimes they'll bubble up and they'll wrinkle. Don't be scared, because overnight it'll set and it'll pull it really tight and hard. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to do the finishing process on this, which is, well, let's put the other round. We have enough time to put the other round. Let's dip into our microsol. Let's douse our area with microset. I'm sorry. Okay. And now we will proceed. We will proceed to grab our roundel. Place it on. If you have to move it quite a bit, and remember this side here, if you can see, the port's to the back more than this side, so you gotta really be careful when you're placing the decal. We want to place it as even with the other side as possible, but if you gotta move it, you can move it. It's no big deal. If you really gotta move it, use your brush. Grab it from a different angle, and you can use your brush to push it up. If it starts sticking, put more under. There we go. And now we can move it even better. Okay, I think we should move it down just a little bit. Now, what we're going to do next is, let's make sure that it's set correct. There we go. So make sure that it's set correctly. And now that we're set correctly, to finish out the process, we're going to, well, you know what? Let's put the top one on. Now that let's finish off the turret. We're going to put the top one on. And the top one goes right here. Let's put it sparingly. Wash out our brush. Always start at a corner so you don't slide the decals off. All over. Okay, excellent. And what we want to do now is very delicately grab it, put it on, and then sometimes you have to push it down, and also you want to align it so that it's straight on top. That's too far forward. Maybe too far back. Let's take the excess off. Okay, I think we're too far forward there. So we're going to try to push back. Yeah, I'm liking this better over here. Look at it from every angle so you can sit it right. If you need to push it with your brush. I went too far over. It sits, but not right away, so don't panic. Never ever panic. If you would have seen what I went through yesterday with that LA5, 9 out of 10 modelers would have just thrown the kit away. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of wrestling when you don't have good decals. The good thing is that I have a lot of patience. I've been doing this for a long time. Actually, I have a lot of patience with everything. Oh man, see, sometimes you overdo it and you just gotta know where to put it. Look at it from the front. That looks centered. We're going with that. That's pretty centered, as centered as it's gonna get. So now that we've gotten our roundels placed and we've got the microsole under there, like this guy here is wrinkling, do not panic. Don't panic. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to brush on our microsole. And this here will pull as hard as it can pull and remove all of the decal glue and make it look like it is painted. And you want to push it, put it sparingly, but don't push the decals too much as they might move. Put it sparingly right over. Very sparingly. It doesn't matter if it goes everywhere and it leaks. And just let it dry. We have the good thing about French tanks is that their markings were like really minimal. Well, pretty much every tank, except the American tanks, had all kinds of numbers and serial numbers and whatever. Now we're going to put our hole markings. They should have been that size, but this is all I could find. I can't find any aftermarket, so we're gonna have to go with it. And being that this is just a little bit different with a long barrel as opposed to the short barrel here, maybe it did have different markings even though it's in the same unit. Who knows? You know, sue me if you don't like it. I know there's gonna be all these rivet counters and I know better and blah blah blah. I always get that in every video. I get that in every post. They never put work up, but they want to correct me. But anyway, and yeah, I don't like your opinion if you're trying to tell me I'm doing it wrong, because if you're not posting up results and your results aren't up to par, and you cannot be telling other people, hey, your work isn't good or whatever. That's just my point, and that's it. Anyway, so we're going to proceed now to put our insignia, unit insignia, on our hole here. Make sure that our markings are good. And now what we're gonna do is, again, we are going to apply the micro set sparingly here. Don't be scared, don't poke, just dab and let it really get all in there and stuff. And then we're going to proceed to drop our insignia on there. and place it where we think we want it to be. If we need to push, we push with our brush. See? I like that right there. So we're going to just straighten it out a little more. Place it on the ground. I'm going with it. Just a little back to the other side. And I'm going with it. And I will do the other side. Turn it around for reference. Since the hole has a very peculiar shape on each side, we are going to more or less put it where we think we should put it. So he doesn't want to slide off. So sometimes things just don't want to work with you, but there's always a way. And what we do here is we will set it in place. It just doesn't want to turn. There we go. Okay, and that's what we're going with right there. Now, let's go back and look at our roundels. You can see they're being pulled really tight. You leave it overnight, and by tomorrow it'll be super tightly pulled. And don't be scared of all these wrinkles and all that. They'll disappear overnight, and if they don't, then the next day, put a little bit, dab a little bit on the wrinkles, and then with your brush, just brush them out. Trust me, it works. Okay, so we've got everything in place, and now we're going to hit it with the microsol. Every model gets this. I never put gloss to put the decals because I like to cut down on the amount of work. I like to cut down. I think that the gloss step is just an extra step of work, just like the pre-shading and all of that is an extra step of work. And you can produce good looking models with less work and practical ideas just like this. And you know, anybody that wants to argue, look at my dioramas, look at my airplanes, look at my stuff. And you know, I won awards at the IPMS championship level with my dioramas and my stuff and my figures. So it's like anybody that wants to make that argument, there you are right there. I'm not here to argue, I'm not here to do anything like that. I'm just here to show my way to my friends so that they can produce models with good results. And we dab the microsol, and then we'll let it sit overnight. And there you go. Every single model is produced this way. Every single model that I do. And like I said, here's the airplane from last night. And the decals, all of this stuff goes away when you spray the 1260. Trust me. When you wet it, it goes away. Look at the cowling. These are decals. They're not painted. They're decals. And when you spray the 1260, it's going to look like they're painted on. And that, gentlemen, ladies, is the way that I apply decals to every single model. If you have any questions, PM me. PM me on Facebook. Any questions, let me know. Again, very easy, straightforward, simple process. You can pick up this stuff at any hobby shop. Any hobby shop has this micro scale system. You don't need gloss. Just dab it on, put them on, and then we finish off with Testors Dull Coat 1260 right from the can. And you get great results all the time. Until next time, this is my system. Any questions, rate, comment. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy modeling, and I hope this helped. Panzerkill out. Okay, now here we have the model one day later, and as you can see, the decals, well, on the hull anyway. I'm going to bring the turret in right now because I've actually sprayed the turret with the 1260 dull coat and let it dry for a little while in the sun. But if you can see here, the decal looks like it's really looks like it's painted, is what I'm trying to say. And you can see the LA7, the LA5, I also did, and it's already decaled, everything ready for the Testors dull coat. This is Popokov's aircraft here, and you can see the appearance of the national insignia there, and the decals look like they're painted. It does not look like decal. And when we shoot our clear over, it's gonna blend it in really nice. Here's the other side. Now, again, I was going to do the video based on the aircraft, but boy, the print scale decals, and I'm not trying to talk bad on them, but it's from the experience that I got from this model, they were horrible because these stripes here, this star, all of these stars, and this number here are one decal. And when I went to take it off of the sheet after it had been soaking for about half an hour, it fell into 1,000,000 pieces. I mean, literally, some of these stars had to be put back one by one. This thing broke like in 5 different places. This thing came apart. So they were really delicate. I don't like their quality. I probably will not purchase them again. I'm not trying to talk bad on them. If you like them, well, that's on you. But this is the experience I've had. They're not, you know, Aero Master or Strike Eagle or Eagle Strike. They're not to that quality. I needed to get them because of the markings for Popokov's aircraft. I got the yellow numbers with the yellow star. I kind of like the white numbers with the white star. I couldn't find those anywhere, so I went with this. I like the result I got anyway. I still like the look of the aircraft. The Order of Linen banner here I used from the kit, which is the Hobbycraft kit. The airplane's coming out pretty good. Again, it is not cleared yet. It is just, the decals have just been placed on it. But you can see that the system works real good because it looks like they're painted on. It pulls really hard that you can see all the little tiny bumps and what have you, irregularities from the paint under it. And once you spray the clear, what I like about the Dull Coat 1260 is that it evens everything out. You won't see a lot of the little bumps and irregularities because it levels everything off and then it dries straight, which I love it. But nevertheless, here's the aircraft, and it's already, like I said, had the decals placed on it and what have you. And there's the back part. That was one decal. Another thing is that the cut isn't right here at the rear windscreen, so you either have to cut it, and if you mess up, like I did, I messed up a little. I had to actually paint on top by hand. Actually, I did that, and to even out the shape of the window there along the bottom of the windshield there, of the rear canopy. But I like the results. I think the aircraft is going to look really nice once we're done with it. And I should be finishing this up within the next week. That guy's going to be done within the next couple of days too. This guy's going to be done within the next couple of days. And I'm still concentrating and waiting on some stuff for my World War II Pacific campaign Marine Corps diorama. That should be done within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Ready for the contest in Santa Rosa, California. I'm doing a video on painting the Marine Corps uniform figures. That's almost done. That will be posted up after this. But I wanted to get this out. Again, here is the results of the micro scale system. First, we brush micro set, and if you can see the wet marking of the microsol and micro set. But once you spray the clear, that all goes away. And like I said, you brush on micro set, you place your decal, then you brush microsol over it, and that pulls it as hard as it can pull it towards the model. When you go to clear, and you'll see the turret, I've done the turret already on the tank, you'll see the results of it. But I think I really like the look of the aircraft. The aircraft's coming out really nice, and I can't wait to get it finished. Okay, here now we have the turret. The turret's been sprayed with Dull Coat 1260, and it has a little sheen to it right now because I just sprayed it about 2 hours ago. It's been outside, but once it dries up in a couple of days, it'll dry and dull to the look, and you will not be able to tell that the markings are even anything but painted on. It'll dry dull, but that's what it looks like after you spray it with Testors 1260 Dull Coat. There's the top roundel on the hatch, and I'm going to show you the difference. Here is the vehicle without spraying, and this is what it looks like after you spray the Dull Coat. See the change in the green? The green goes darker, and so do the colors. And then when it dries up, it'll dry up very dull. But it gives you a very uniform look. Once you figure out how things work, everything goes really super easy for you. But nevertheless, that's how we do it. That's how we put our decals on aircraft, on armor. After this dries up, it'll get the washes that I show you, all of the shadings with all the pastels and what have you. This one's going to be really subtle because they're not in full combat yet in 1940, waiting for the war to break out, so it will not be that beat up. But a lot of you saw my weathering with pastels videos, part 1, 2, and 3, and that's how you weather and bust up a tank that's been in the field for a while. Nevertheless, I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope that I've been able to help you. Again, any questions, comment, PM me, rate the video, pass it along. And if you have anything that you need to ask, just go ahead and PM me on Facebook or PM me here. Once again, happy modeling, and Panzerkiel out. Okay, that was the video. That was the system I use. Every single model, whether it is an aircraft, whether it is a piece of armor, or whether it is a figure, gets this step. The figures naturally do not have decals, so I'll paint them and then I'll clear them with dull coat 1260, testers dull coat 1260. Wait a couple of days, give them washes, give them highlights, use the pastels on them, and you've seen the results. I don't have to keep emphasizing on that. Every single aircraft I do, every single piece of armor, and you've seen pictures of my work. Hope this helped you. Again, we're about cutting the process down, we're cutting the costs, and I'm hoping that you are enjoying these and getting a lot of results out of them. Give me feedback on your results. If you have a problem, let me know and I'll help you with that problem. We're all in this modeling community together to help each other and get the best results. Until then, I want to give a shout out to the guys at World War II Modeling on Facebook, Tamiya Model Magazine on Facebook, World War II Diorama Art on Facebook, Facebook Model Society, Plastic Model Builders Group on Facebook, Scale Aircraft on Facebook, and so on and so on. There's so many of them that I know I forgot some, but this shout out goes to all of my Facebook friends. I like your work. I like the comments. I like what we're doing here. And if you need any help, if you need anything, let me know. I have a extensive library, as you can see behind me. I have a lot of knowledge of all this stuff, and I'm more than willing to help you. Okay. Until then, happy modeling. Panzer Keel out.